All right, YouTube, doing an oil filter review here on Jiffy Lube's Service Pro oil filter. This model is the M2222. Quick story on this. My buddy just started changing his own oil now. And the previous oil change he had prior to this one that he just changed was done at Jiffy Lube. And this is the oil filter that Jiffy Lube put on his car. The kind of car he's driving is I think it's a 2016 Cadillac ATS4. Two things he pointed out before we get into this filter review was when he recycled the oil, he only had 4 quarts of oil. His car takes 6.5 quarts of oil. The oil change is less than 2 months old, or I think it was a little over 2 months old, excuse me. And this oil filter was like 2 inches shorter than the AC Delco that he put in. So this oil filter was smaller than the AC Delco oil filter that he actually put into the car. So, you know, that, yeah, I guess that does change oil capacity a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see what, I'll put in the description below his next oil change if he lost, you know, any quarts of oil or, you know, something was up with this last oil change he got at Jiffy Lube. Whether they shorted him oil and a short oil filter, or whether his car's burning that much oil. So that'll be, he burned 2 quarts of oil in about 3 months. So yeah, that's excessive. But anyway, so we'll get into it. This oil filter, one thing I noticed that the canister thickness strength is pretty strong. This is stronger than the Mobile 1 oil filter that I reviewed. This is actually thicker than that. So that's pretty good. This is strong. The other thing, when he did pull this oil filter off, it was extremely tight. You can see where he gripped with the oil filter wrench. He had to actually crush the can a little bit to get it off. And this can is thick, so that's a lot of pressure for him to do that. The good thing too about this filter, aside from it being so thick, is that they're using a coil spring instead of a stamped leaf spring that I've showed you on previous videos to hold pressure. And that's actually really good. That's actually good because that's more reliable than a leaf spring. Now the only negative I will say about this filter is the anti-drain back valve is nitrite rubber instead of silicone. But for 5,000 miles, this will do. The base plate is super thick and heavy, the heaviest I've reviewed so far on my channel. And it does seem to have a fair amount of threads here, more than the average oil filter that I've had on my channel. So that's pretty good. The oil filter element, so you have metal end caps, which is good. The inner core is made out of metal. I don't know if you can see that. And the filter element is pretty strong. And they've closed it off with, instead of glue, they've used the metal stamped steel here to connect the oil filter element, you see? So that's actually really good. This oil filter you're getting at Jiffy Lube is excellent, actually. We just hope that the service is on par with the oil filter, right? But anyway, people, just do your reviews before you get your car worked any place. Make sure you're doing the research and the reviews, okay? But yeah, this oil filter rating wise gets a 10 out of 10 at this job. It gets a 9 out of 10 for design, and the only issue is that they have the bypass valve here in the back, and I like to have them in the front. If it was in the front, you get a 10 out of 10. But it's still a good filter, extremely well built. So yeah, what else about this filter? Nope, that's it. All right, YouTube. Take care.